All right, a quorum being present, we'll call the meeting of the Tantasqua Regional School Committee to order at 6:15 on December 16th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, at this time, we will turn it over to the Superintendent Boyd for an introduction of the Superintendent Scholars.
Favorite time of the year. Where's Evelyn?
The most wonderful.
Our Superintendent Scholars this year are Evelyn Spencer and Logan Elko. Evelyn. I haven't practiced enough. Some of these are so intimidating to read, so. Evelyn had a GPA of 4.75 at the start of the school year. During her time at Tantasqua, she has been a member of the Peer Connections team, the Diversity Club, and Be Good to People Club. She's the treasurer of the Interact Club and vice president of the Bio-Olympiad Club. Evelyn is a National Honor Society and an AP Scholar with distinction and received the National Merit Commendation Scholarship. She considers persevering through the many long nights of AP US history one of her biggest academic accomplishments, and is proud to have learned that she can still love and succeed in a class even when it's hard. She is also proud to be part of the first class in many years of AP Calculus BC here, knowing it will help define what is possible for future students. I'm not sure, I think I see Mrs. Carbone around someplace. That's a whole year of AP Calculus torture. My words, not Evelyn's. As if all that wasn't enough, Evelyn took a credited college course on antibiotic resistance at UMass Amherst for 2 weeks. She fell in love with that class and was able to present a scientific poster at the end of it. And her summers have been very busy academically, attending a 2-week pre-college experience at Smith College, studying molecular genetics and analyzing DNA, a 1-week summer experience at UConn, studying marine ecology and water quality, and a 1-week summer experience at WPI, studying biochemistry. On a co-curricular end, Evelyn has also been very active. She was happy to be the captain of the varsity volleyball team senior year and worked hard to create a welcoming environment for all the players. She helped to pioneer and eventually take over the Birthday in a Box program, which provides party supplies to underprivileged children in our community, and she represented our Save Promise Club in Philadelphia at the National Save Conference. Evelyn is grateful for the teachers who value the present just as much as the future. She said it's the little things we find joy in, a fun project, an interesting topic, and experiences that end up shaping the high school memories rather than just test scores and applications. She hopes to major in microbiology or molecular biology and attend Mount Holyoke, Northeastern, University of Rochester, or Lehigh University. Evelyn's favorite quote is, "Becoming me was the greatest creative project of my life." So by Elliot Woe of the Magicians. Congratulations. Says that Evelyn Spencer, duly qualified under the standards prescribed by the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents, is hereby awarded the Certificate of Academic Excellence in the witness of everyone here. Congratulations. Thank you so much for all the hard work, and we will be having a Superintendent Scholar Lunch in March. Where's Mom, Dad, family? Come on over.
Who's in charge of the picture?
We need a who's pictures?
There we go. You're right, Dr.
Where are we looking? Dr. Dufresne.
I'm taking one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have Logan Elko. There, hidden right behind there. Hi, Logan. Logan had a GPA of 4.73 at the start of the school year. During his time at Tantasqua, he was a founding member of the Interact Club and is in National Honor Society and has been on student council, including serving as class secretary, and is also the current secretary of the Cancer Kids First Club. His academic accomplishments include being a founder and president of Mu Alpha Theta Math National Honor Society, the chapter here at Tantasqua, achieving a perfect score on the math SATs and being awarded the AP Scholar with Distinction Award from College Board. Logan was selected to attend the RILA, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards Retreat in 2024, which is an intensive 3-day training and recognition for aspiring leaders sponsored by our local Rotary Club. Logan is Tantasqua's own Lionel Messi, being an all-star, all-state all-star 2025 soccer, Central Mass all-star 24, 25 ranked #1 overall, the league and conference all-star in 23, 24, and 25, and nominated All New England 2025. He was a 4-year varsity starter and the senior captain for the soccer team, and also served on the track team. Logan has volunteered at the Wales Community Food Pantry and Sturbridge Community Food Collaborative. Logan says he's thankful for his family, friends, and teachers who have guided him throughout this academic journey. He says he owes the success to their support. He thanks Superintendent Boyd and administration for granting him this distinction. He hopes to major in biomedical engineering and attend MIT, Carnegie Mellon, or Georgia Tech. Logan's favorite quote is, "Sometimes it's the small imperfections that make you love something even more," by Bobby Hill. Dr. Dufresne, scoot over this way a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, either way. There's no rules, it's all good. Thank you. Great job. Have some more treats if you wish. You don't need to stay. Congratulations.
All right, before we get into our core business for the evening, we had a pretty significant loss to the Tantasqua community within the last couple of days. Former superintendent of schools, my assistant principal, Dan Durgan, left us very suddenly. And for those that knew Dan, we knew him to be a fun, caring, loving, wonderful human being who I had the pleasure to know as a student and then also in my service on this committee. It doesn't make sense, and it probably won't for quite a while, but he was really part of what I would consider to be the Tantasqua comeback. We had a couple of tumultuous years way back when, and he stepped in to be superintendent at a time that he was desperately needed, and his commitment to the district continues to be recognized in so many of his achievements. And so, you know, we send our best wishes to his family. This is a very trying time for them, of course, but really for the entire Tantasqua and Union 61 community that he served for 17 years in a number of leadership capacities. So I'd like to offer a moment of silence in recognition of him and his family. Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the November 18th, 2025 meeting. Motion made by Mr. Goodwin. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Hagerty. Any discussion? Seeing none, the chair will call for a vote. Those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions for the record? Seeing none, the motion carries unanimously. We'll move to the financial report. Mrs. Leo?
Well, December's a good month to have the financial report, where our spending and our receipts are sort of right aligned with prior years, and things are kind of going along in a pretty smooth place. We're heading into winter, optimistic. If there are specific questions that I can respond to, I'm more than happy to do that.
Questions for Mrs. Leo on the financial report? All right, seeing none, we'll move to our student reports. Good evening.
To start off, freshmen are still in their rotations and are more than halfway done. In business, tech, and culinary, juniors and seniors are continuing to collaborate on service at the Cornerstone Cafe, serving meals to the staff and community. Students have also been helping with various banquets and lunches for other parts of our school. In health careers, sophomores are working on their Generations project where they can work together to research and understand all of the generations. They're also working to finish up OSHA. Juniors finish the blood pressure unit and are working on their range of motion dances, and in the classroom, seniors are working on the GI unit. In clinical, they're providing amazing care as well as collecting gifts for the residents for the holidays. In business tech, sophomores are working on OSHA while juniors are working on consumer skills and seniors are working on their entrepreneurship and small business certifications. They also have started prepping for Skills USA. In computer technology, sophomores are working on OSHA while juniors and seniors have been volunteering to help assist senior citizens in our community. And finally, in CAD, students made vinyl cutouts for new signage above staff doorways in the guidance offices. Students also met with the Sturbridge Fire Chief to begin planning a project for the Sturbridge Safety Complex. And that's all I have for this month. Everything's kind of going the same, so it's just the highlights.
Okay, no one gave me the memo that this one was supposed to be brief, so I'll try to go through this as fast as I can. As the holiday season approaches, student body has been ensuring that they're staying engaged and never faltering. So starting the month of November off early, Student Council began working with our National Honor Society to plan our annual food drive. Sign-ups were sent out in late October, and collection and sorting took place on November 21st. We were able to make food baskets for 15 families, and each basket was equipped with Thanksgiving staples, some general food needs, and $60 worth of grocery store gift cards for any extra food each family may have needed. I'm going to be completely honest, I was a little nervous with signups at the beginning of the drive. It was kind of sparse, but I'm really happy with the amount of students and faculty members that decided to step in towards the end, and I'm happy with how much we were able to bring in for those 15 families. So I count that event as a success in my book. On a similar note, towards the end of November, the student council launched its annual Wall of Wishes to collect presents for children in our community. As of today, we have finished delivering all of our gifts to each of the elementary schools around our district. It took me 3 trips to bring all of the toys to Brookfield Elementary, 1 for Burgess, and 1 for Holland. So overall, we had a lot of donations this year. I was really happy with how that ended out. And yeah, I would consider that event to be a major success as well. One of the biggest events for Student Council in the month of November was our annual pep rally, which was held from Monday, November 24th until Wednesday, November 26th. Throughout the week, we had a variety of spirit days to help engage our student body and keep spirits high before break. So starting off strong, we had America Monday, followed by Meme Day on Tuesday, and then Class Color Day on Wednesday. We had some kind of mixed feelings between students. There was a love-hate relationship with the spirit days, but that's something our board is working on helping to remedy in the future. And then finally, at the end of our short pep rally week, we held the pep rally itself. Overall, I would say the event went pretty well compared to years past. There were some slight scheduling issues, but other than that, I would say we were over-prepared, so I would count that as a success as well. Towards the end of November, the senior class held their senior variety show fundraiser. This event was something that was traditionally held by the graduating class each year. Unfortunately, last year was canceled due to a lack of act signups, but the class of 2026 was happy to bring the fundraiser back after this short hiatus. And overall, it was a great turnout, and there were a lot of very talented participants. And then I've got a couple things to touch upon for the month of December. So starting the month off early, on Wednesday, December 3rd, our Student Council Executive Board attended Southbridge's annual Festival of Giving Trees. This year, we themed our tree around the movie A Nightmare Before Christmas. So we had like a black tree. We had all the ornaments kind of based upon the movie. Overall, I thought it was a great afternoon. We got to bond as a board, and I would consider it to be a lot of fun. On Saturday, December 6th, we held our annual Winter Warrior Day of Service. We had about 80 people sign up to help volunteer, and we had a variety of stations set up to help provide service to our community. So for example, we had a station that was focused on making felt hearts for the NICU. We had a station aimed towards making dog toys for Second Chance Animal Shelter. Another one made holiday cards for the Brookfield Rotary. And then a fourth one, we were working with Cancer Kids First Club, and they made stockings as well. So I would say the event was largely a success. We got a lot done for our community. And then finally, last thing I'd like to touch upon is our annual mobile polar plunge, which will be taking place this Thursday, December 18th. As of now, I checked before I came here, we have reached $9,200 raised for Massachusetts Special Olympics, and I think we have 137 registered plungers. And we're hoping that by Thursday we can raise over $10,000 so that our administration can take the plunge with us.
$800 check tonight.
No, I'll do it.
That's all I really had for like since last week. I did. I added it, and Miss Kemp took it off, so I put it in there, but it's not anymore.
The link?
Yeah.
Donate? Gonna circulate?
The song.
I tried my best to send it
Directly.
Not to everyone, Mr. Valenzola.
Where does the check go? That we need to write?
I'm pretty sure I did it online last year.
Yeah, it's online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want the
It's online.
points.
We'll work on that slowly.
Questions for our student representatives? Yeah.
I just wanted to say the senior variety night was great. It was a lot of really fun acts. It was a really fun night. So thanks. Good job bringing that back.
Thank you.
Were you in it?
Yeah, I was.
What was your act?
I played the guitar and I sang with a couple of my friends. So we did a Kings of Leon song. We did Use Somebody. I don't know if you guys know.
Oh, yeah. Very good. I'm not that old.
That's not what I was insinuating at all.
I mean, they are.
It was also the start of a movie. He's.
Oh yeah, I did a couple acts actually. Me and my friends made a terrible home horror movie, and then we did a dating show where me and my friends all dressed up as girls, and then one of our friends was the lucky participant that got to choose between all of us. So
It was really fun.
If you want to watch it, it's in the latest TWN.
Oh,
Is it?
Yes, yes.
I'm just
The
glad I don't
entire
think they
thing
ever
basically.
filmed mine. The year I did it.
I remember the song though, my goodness.
Do you remember that?
Melody, I remember that.
That's right.
It's all coming back now.
Good memory.
Thank you.
All right.
See if you can find some footage.
Do we have any video?
I'm afraid it's probably in the archives.
We'll take a look.
Right around the polar plunge
They
time.
better not surface before Thursday, or you're gonna get that bathing suit ready. All right, we'll transition to staff reports. Mr. Sturgis,
All right.
feel so far away.
I was going to wait for the students to leave, but they seemed like they were engaged in the meeting.
Thank you both.
thank you.
Grab another brownie on your way out. Or two.
My apologies for being late. I was trying to recruit people in the game downstairs to come up here. It didn't work. Around the junior high, I spent the last month kind of recognizing some student recognition academics. We had National Junior Honor Society early November. The number is lower this year than the past, which actually I like to see because it shouldn't be so easy to get in. So these kids that are listed here, we're finding a lot, the ones who are not making it is a lack of community engagement part of it. So we're starting to kind of bring that full circle back. But speaking of community engagement, we did do our Project 351 students, our 5 representatives from each town listed here. These kids are unbelievable students. They are dancers, teachers, coaches. Some of these kids coach softball. One of them coaches dance and borderline runs a dance studio with her mother. And they've done community food drives. So We got 5 solid kids going to represent us this year out at launch day in January, and more info will come with their clothing drive. That'll be usually last week of March, early April. And then maybe at the end of the year, if we can get the 5 of them to come out, they usually come to the last meeting.
April and May that we usually bring them to.
Whichever one's not the joint meeting, we don't make them go to the, oh no, we do make them go to the joint meeting, so they see their elementary school.
It's usually May.
Yeah, I
Yeah, May.
actually do like it, I do like.
So hopefully we can get the 5 of them out. Right before Thanksgiving, on that half day, we had a first ever volleyball tournament, and it was a fundraiser. We have a student who was going through, had a brain tumor, major surgery, and we tried to help the family out. And so we were able to do a good job raising funds, but we're actually having a fun day on the day when it's chaotic, sending them off into that 3 or 4 day weekend. And we raised a good chunk of change for the family, and the good news for that young lady, after many surgeries, she's actually coming back to school. So not only is she back home, we're meeting with the family this week to have her come back to school, probably after the holiday break. So that's a huge win. Past couple of days, we've had our band and chorus concerts. 7th grade was last night, 8th grade was last Wednesday here at the high school. If anyone got to see them, they sound amazing. Show choir was over the weekend. We have our show choir kids were out there. I know Mrs. Boyd was there. Mrs. Leo, I believe, was there as well, probably all day. And so, and then the last thing I do want to highlight is an unbelievable job by some of my staff members this month with food drives. When the SNAP benefit crisis happened for the few weeks, people stepped up to start clothing donations, food drives. We were able to make 30 Thanksgiving baskets for families in our own building. We realized that we started asking people how many people actually needed help, and probably don't usually ask for help, but when you find now you have Google Forms and ways to ask without, and people are actually asking for help. And then now we actually had the bingo night, student council led last Saturday, where we raised almost $1,200. Some of that money has to pay off some of the sweatshirts that we are giving away to the kids. But we have close to the same 30 families with students that we're able to give them. We like to give them Tantasqua gear so they don't have like some weird, everyone knows where they got the like random bright colored sweatshirts from the thrift store. They know that we donated that, so we're able to raise funds to donate Tantasqua gear so it blends right in. So with the number of people who stepped up, because I certainly don't have the time to take on all that extra stuff, guidance counselors, school psychologists, a couple of instructional aides stayed late, ran around McNuck's in town buying potatoes on the day before we were giving them out, because we didn't get the donations on time, which did come in time, so we have extra potatoes now in school, for now. But other than that, just a lot of good stuff happening on the junior high.
Questions for Mr. Sturgis? Thank you, Mrs. Sturgis. Move to our tech report. Ms. Rubin, good evening.
Good evening, thank you. Just a couple highlights. I was hoping Kiki would stay, but Kiki and Courtney had created the video for us for prospective technical students. So TWN did a great job earlier in the school year, went around and had all of the staff in the tech department share what their shop and program was about and what students will be doing in there. And that video is now posted on our website. And I've actually had several families reach out, very pleased that they've been able to access that video. And I actually did a tour last week with a current homeschool family, and they referenced several of the teachers in there, specifically carpentry. So we were really pleased. I'm so grateful that they did that, and I'm kind of hoping that that becomes annual so that it's current teachers, current students, and more up-to-date technology. So really happy that we have that, and very grateful to Kiki and Courtney for doing that. A couple other things. The electrical department has, the seniors have been working very much so in this building, trying to fix anything and everything from the Noel, can your kids fix the shot clock for the basketball game, to going into the cafeteria and also here in the library. So thank you to you and the students. Culinary arts has been very busy. You can see in the report, they've been doing several things together. They did the gingerbread house contest. And quite frankly, I think I've asked Louis to step up and do several things for us, and he always says yes. And he is incredible. You know, the students and the staff love him, and additionally, Louis, Chef Bab, and the students will be creating cookies and just maybe some hors d'oeuvres, entree type things for staff appreciation. And I believe we're doing that on Tuesday of next week. So we're very grateful to Culinary. Again, just some highlights. Skills USA enrollment is roughly the same. They're pushing it a little bit more, I believe, this year, trying to get students more involved. It is very tricky with Skills USA. I don't know how much information you have on Skills USA. It's highly recognized locally, within Massachusetts, nationally, and actually internationally. We are trying to increase numbers, but we do have several students that are involved in many other things after school. So that is something that we are talking about, trying to maybe shift the focus of when the meetings are, and really prioritize our participants so that when it comes to competition time, those students are committed and they are competing. So that is something that we're talking about as a team. And then lastly, a good anecdote, over break, Thanksgiving break, a young man came back from Wentworth. He's currently studying construction management. He graduated from here last year, from carpentry. He's in a program of 40 students, and he is the only one, other than one other young lady from Blackstone Valley Tech, that has any carpentry construction experience. He has straight A's, a B in calculus, but is very happy and is doing very well. And he showed up at the job site with a box of hot chocolate and some cups, and was very impressed with what they were doing. And what's very funny is he said, wow, you guys are doing a much better job than we did last year, so everything looks great. So it was a really nice story. Mr. Seaton was very pleased, and that young man is doing very well at Wentworth. That's pretty much it.
That's great. Questions? Yep.
I just want to thank you for a comprehensive report in our packet. It's good to see all the departments and the tech division reported on, because it sometimes gets kind of by the wayside. And I was happy to see that, so thank you.
Thank you. I had some great help this time. Andrew's on the ball with this. Thank you.
Yep.
Also, those videos that were done about the various shops, they were really informative. I would recommend everybody go check them out, because it was great. It was a nice way to see what's going on in all the shops. So
Thank you.
Dr. Dufresne?
So the high school report, our department of the month is math. Our math department spent a lot of time the first PD day analyzing spring 25 MCAS results. Each question pulled, categorized by standard, and placed in a shared folder for current use. And that is in order to sort of drive some instructional changes. We're very proud of our AP scores. As you can see, we listed them there. They are impressive. Our main goal is to expose students to the advanced curriculum, but it's not terrible when they sort of crush the exam. So we'll take both wins there. Very excited, at least some people are, that we are offering a section of AP Calc BC this year. It is an intensive year-long immersion into calculus. Ms. Carboni spent a lot of time developing the curriculum for it over the summer. She came in, I have to approve the summer PD, and show me the binder, and I'm not sure I opened it, but it looks really neat. She put in a lot of work and is doing an amazing job at a very difficult course, so we're grateful to her. Our math team last year, we finished first place in the B division of the Worcester County Math League, so they moved us up. We are now in the A division. Pretty proud of that. And our team advisors are Chuck Hamparian and Andrew Bale, both math teachers here. We listed down some other PDs attended by our department members. Our math department, unlike other buildings I've worked in, might be the most fun department in the building. That isn't always the case, and every year Ms. Sabia comes up with a new Halloween theme for the fourth floor. This year they were Pac-Man. I wish you could see the picture. It didn't come out. It doesn't really do it justice. But
Maybe it should go on the website.
what's that?
So maybe it should go.
Yeah, that should go on the website. Chorus, in the fine arts, in the performing arts, we've got, December's usually a big month. We hosted the holiday cabaret. You got a little glimpse of the winter concert. Our performing artists are working hard, and the show choir season's off and running. The sure sign of that is to see Miss Leo in the building. It's like when the birds return, in the spring. It's must be show choir season. I see Kristen's
I
here.
think we all walked into them rehearsing anyway in the foyer.
Yeah, we walked right through.
Yeah.
It is one of the great parts about working in high school this time of year, and if you want to know sort of how busy your school is or how engaged the student body is, come in the winter, and when everyone's forced inside and practicing in the foyer, and the basketball games are going on. It's a good time to work in a high school. We are not a lot of winter sport updates. We just sort of finished tryouts, and the seasons are just getting underway. But we had a lot of great numbers for our teams, and we're pretty excited to see how they do. We also have, in addition to our teams, we have 2 cooperative teams. They are the same as they were before. Auburn Hockey and Tantasqua are a cooperative hockey team again, in both boys and girls. We have 19 total student athletes, 11 boys and 8 girls in the program, and we have 8 student athletes participating on the Shepherd Hill wrestling team. And then finally, just not that I sat in on the meeting, but we had our first RSAC meeting today, our Regional Student Advisory Council meeting today, and the students were excited to go, and when they came out, they were really pleased to have a different vehicle to voice their thoughts and feelings about school. So it was a good month at the high school.
Questions for Dr. Dufresne? Thank you, sir. Move to committee reports, budget, Mrs. Miller.
No meeting, so we have our meeting January 24th for the fiscal year 27 budget after the retreat.
Thank you. Technical, Mr. Dunn.
Yes, I finished the signatures just in time. Perfect. We had a meeting on December 5th with Ms. Roboto, Dr. Dufresne, and Mr. Lamoff, along with the subcommittee. It was a great conversation. I think we all agreed that we could have kept going for a few more hours at least. Some of the topics that we discussed had to do with a grant for something called Project Lead the Way, which is a 3-year grant for a computer science-based program. We talked a little bit about what some of the benefits would be. A lot of us are techies, so we were interested in the curriculum and hearing more about that. We also discussed some of the challenges around implementing a program like that here, despite the benefits. It requires a 15% enrollment from the population of students in order to qualify for the grant. And that is challenging with the block system that we have and being able to fit both a combination of technical and academic students into that program. We also talked a little bit about the application process for that was pretty quick this year. The timing was tight, so may not work out this year, but we're going to keep looking at it as something that's interesting to the school. We also discussed, amongst a variety of other topics, whether there was the possibility of adding new programs or potentially enhancing existing ones. The topic of evening programs came up again. That was something we hadn't discussed in a couple of years, and whether that would be a possibility. But we have many more brainstorming conversations to go. I think it was a really energetic conversation. We're going to meet again in January if possible. So in previous years we met twice usually, and I suspect that we're going to meet quite a few more times this year. So, yeah. A testament, in addition to Mrs. Noyes-Miller and the comments over here, it was just great. The energy was great. I think we covered a lot of topics, and some new topics and some old topics that hadn't been covered in years before, but I left feeling very energized.
Thank you, sir. Curriculum, Mr. Goodwin. No meeting. Bylaw and policy, Mrs. Fitzgerald.
We did not meet. We have no policies on the agenda. We meet again January 28th, but I do want to just piggyback on what Dr. Dufresne said. We had our kickoff luncheon today with the Student Advisory Committee. Mr. Haggerty and I were there with 6 members. It's great to see that all 4 classes are represented among that group of students, such an impressive group of students, every one of them.
But we did a lot of the talking as the kickoff meeting to try and hopefully lay the groundwork for what this grouping can be, the kind of things that we hope to hear from them. I hope they took from us, the sincerity of that this is a place to come and let it out. Let us know what's on your mind as a student body, so we don't duplicate what we already hear from our terrific student representatives at our meetings. And so I think we left with all of us with a better understanding of how this can work. The next luncheon's in February. I encourage anybody who can find the time to attend. We kept it to 40 to 50 minutes was the goal. We pushed that. Culinary is not even, the Cornerstone Cafe is not even open on Tuesdays. That's why we're doing it. I think I was expecting a sandwich and some chips. We had pasta, we had shrimp fried rice, we
They
had
have been
cookies.
outdoing themselves in the last couple of weeks.
Same for tech, we had like an amazing breakfast.
To find some way to thank them that doesn't involve giving them food.
Exactly.
You know, you have pizza parties for the kids, it's like, no, I don't think it's gonna work for this group. So.
It was wonderful, and to be able to chat with these students over a meal like that was terrific. So please consider it if you can find the time. It's if you're working remotely or in town, it's 50 minutes out of the day. And then the hope is that one or both of the co-chairs will come in the off months when we don't meet as a combined group. They will come to our meeting and sit with us and either report back on what we discussed or simply be a part of our group for those months and get a sense for how they can add even more. So look to your emails if you can sign up for February, or April, and June, I think. But it's in there, so just do a little search, and it'd be great.
Was it a challenge to get Mr. Haggerty to keep the conversation going that whole time?
Not at all.
I was going to make the same joke.
Not at all. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Actually, if I can just throw in, interject. If the co-chairs come next month, by law, they are entitled to participate in our meeting, so they could talk throughout the entire meeting. And I hope you make them feel welcoming. Michelle and I talked a little bit about having them sit beside us so that, if they have any questions, because they in this many respects become members of the committee, just not voting members. So, if you can keep that in mind next month, would be great.
All right, negotiations, Mrs. Randall. And building a physical plan, I know met tonight.
That's disappointing.
We didn't have a forum. We did not do.
No report, okay. All right, superintendent's report. Mrs. Boyd.
So, I love everything that goes on before me, and there's so much good stuff to talk about. It doesn't leave a lot for me, but that's fine. I did just include a couple of pages from the draft recommendation on the Governor's Graduation Council for folks who might not have seen some of the snippets in the news. It is not a huge surprise for me. I've been hearing some of the whispers. I think the biggest takeaways are the work that we've been doing on the competency determination and the graduation requirements. Some of the topics are still the same things we've been talking about. Competency determination, just to remind you, is not the governor's recommendation. It is local. And what we did, I still stand by and think is great. What may happen, it's the first time they've publicly said that the recommendation would be to phase out 10th grade MCAS and phase in a few very select end of course common assessments. So those are going to be the heaviest conversations, I think, in the next 6 months as to how end of course common assessments could be implemented across the state and still, A, meet the federal requirement for some common assessment, because that is a federal requirement, and B, how could they be used? And so we're going to see where that goes, and the final recommendation and packet won't be out there until June. And then, if indeed the recommendation is to develop and implement some common course assessments, we then can regroup and talk about something like replacing MCAS with those common course assessments somehow in our CD policy. So that's all good stuff. I don't feel like we wasted time at all, which a lot of superintendents were concerned about, knowing that this work was going on. And then the other, you'll see it, it's the big chunk of the state feeling like We don't in Massachusetts, as the #1 state in education, want to be one of the very few that has no consistent requirements for graduation. So there's a lot of conversation about that. We did start talking last month about Mass Corps and how that fits with where we are and not. They are very well aware that Mass Corps requires some more conversations of what does qualify as a math course. What waivers or exemptions do, especially in the Chapter 74 schools, what would qualify or be waived. So those conversations will happen over the next 6 months. And they'll be out again, I think, doing town halls. And I think they're anticipating a lot of, I don't say resistance, but a lot of feedback from superintendents, because a lot of superintendents immediately panicked. How are we going to do all this? The potential recommendations are all great recommendations. It's a question of how do you do that? How do you do a common, a portfolio or a capstone project? Again, things we've been talking about, portfolios for a while. What does that take for staffing to implement? But those are things that if they do end up in the final statewide package, it's going to be phased in with, I think the easiest thing, quite frankly, will be the end of course assessments in exchange for MCAS at the 10th grade level. And then the rest they'll lay some groundwork. So it's good stuff, it's rigorous stuff, and that's what we want to see. That's about it. I'll keep you posted on that.
All right, there's a couple of communication items which were distributed electronically. We have no unfinished business, so all the new business, public access. Mr. Dunn?
Yes, I will ultimately bring this to the budget subcommittee at a later point, but I received an email from a Sturbridge resident named Chris Thompson, who was asking for the committee to reconsider the freshman JV2 women's volleyball team. I won't read the whole email, but we've had a volleyball program since 2017. The crux of why he thinks this is important is that 9th grade is typically the first year that people play volleyball in this district because there aren't any recreational programs. Kids can play a little bit earlier in AAU, but cost can sometimes be prohibitive. This was something, we had a program a few years back. He calls out some statistics that girls volleyball in the United States is the second most popular sport in high school right now. It's up to 470,000 active participants, second only for females to outdoor track, which is at 486,000. This year, we had 60 girls try out. There were 2 teams, so we ended up having to cut about half of the girls that tried out. And the gist of the rest of Mr. Thompson's email is just that this is a little bit more unique as compared to some of the other programs in the funding, because this is an opportunity for a very popular sport to get some people involved that wouldn't otherwise play other sports here at Tantasqua. And there really aren't recreational opportunities for those students to play. So I'll bring the letter and the recommendation when we meet as a budget subcommittee, but just wanted to share with the whole committee that there was some interest in this.
Pete, do you have the numbers top of mind as to what the participation levels were when we evaluated?
Well, this is not a question of us evaluating and choosing not to. This was the financial situation where we
No, I know.
unfunded all freshman sports.
But we did so based upon
Lower
participation levels.
participation.
We chose those, the 2 sports that we chose to cut due to low numbers in the past. And I want to say, I don't have it top of mind, but both of them were around, I think one was 10 and the other one was like 16, and volleyball was probably the 16.
We'll make sure we have that data for
Yeah,
the budget
I can get it for you.
conversations. Yep.
Okay.
16 was the number of kids that wanted to play but couldn't, or what was the?
Last year.
Last year.
That we had in the past.
It has been an upbuild, and 2 or 3 years ago, we couldn't fill a freshman team.
We couldn't.
And nor could we get coaching for it. So it is certainly on the upswing.
They are, it is on the rise.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't enough with the cuts last year. We thought that would be the least impactful.
And they're still eligible for JV tryout. Okay. All right.
We could consider offering like a club,
Yep.
as they do with extracurricular. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think
know it's not the
last
best
year,
answer.
I don't know if that happened again this year, but there was a club at the junior high. Ms. Amadeo, I believe, was the the club chair. I'm not sure if that club happened again this year or not, but.
It's part of intramurals.
All right, well, we'll continue that in January.
Sounds good. Thanks for the time.
Anyone else for public access? Open forum? All right, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Made by Mr. Goodwin, seconded by Mrs. Noyes Moore. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Motion carries, and we are adjourned at 7 p.m. Lovely holiday, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy it, Noel.